All right, so this is what's going on with Pyro.
Before this video begins, I want to set a content advisory for those who are watching and listening. You're going to hear some very strong language, and I think essentially if you are listening in the presence of young ones, perhaps this is going to be a video that would be best served with headphones, or a video that we will explore at a later time when the kids are not around. Now, that all being said, I will include a link to this full clip if you guys want to go watch it for yourself and you don't care for my commentary and my thoughts on the subject matter at hand. That being said, what you're going to see has been edited down to essentially to highlight the key points of that, but I would still encourage you to go watch the full clip in case any of the context that I cut out ends up leading to miscommunication or misunderstanding of the points intended. With that disclosure out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into it, and then we'll talk about essentially another epic gamer moment from Pyromancer.
Yeah, what a fucking intro. What a fucking intro. Oh my god.
Just flat out, it's definitely inferior when we're talking about the capabilities of the console. Yeah, it is. That doesn't make the people inferior, but that's what people infer from it. No, question mark? Yes, question mark? Yes, question mark? Yes? Console's better, IMO? Right, okay, right. Said no one fucking ever who sat down in front of a 165 hertz screen. No one in the history of the universe has ever sat down and played at 165 FPS and then said, I want to go back to 30. You're fucking full of shit, dude. You're so full of shit. I came over and gave the game a chance and learned to love it and fell in love with it. It's just like, I can't, the logic just is not computing in my brain, dude. I can't connect my wires with what you're saying. I can't find the logic and reason in what you're saying. Commutes are vastly different than a console preference. It's not one-to-one. Ban this fucking idiot, dude. Fucking ban that idiot.
Get him out of here.
Yep. Out of here, man.
There we go.
Fucking ban him.
I love it.
But he is right. Why ban him? Oh my god, dude. I can't believe it.
Ban him too.
I can't believe.
Ban him too.
I can't believe it. People don't agree with me. Ban them all.
There we go.
Guys, it's not about the fact that they're not agreeing.
Let's go.
You guys are such low fucking IQ, dude.
Yeah,
look at your dumb-ass remarks in the chat, bro. They don't agree with me. Oh, I gotta ban them. That's not why they're getting banned, you fucking idiot.
Yep.
Pyromancer's the only smart person on the internet. We're all retards compared to him. Look, dude, I'm not gonna say that word. I wish you wouldn't have said that because we don't say that word here on Twitch. Thank you, sir. Enjoy your ban. But with that being said...
Oh, no, all right. That's one thing I'll stop you on. Well, if you don't like people saying the word, just blacklist it in your chat. Then nobody will be able to say it. Yeah, just blacklist the word. Like, that's... Yeah, like, just blacklist the word. Like, problem solved.
If you're going to act like a fucking idiot, maybe expect to get treated like a fucking idiot. Maybe if you're not going to stop and think before what you say, get what the fuck you get when you say it.
There it is.
How about that? Because that's exactly the way you guys treat me.
There it is, yep.
You guys do that same shit to me.
You heard it.
So don't pull that fucking double standard bullshit where you try to turn it around because I have to sit here and fucking have to listen to all you and all your bullshit.
That's true.
And as soon as I decide I don't want this fuckface in my chat anymore... Now I'm the bad guy because I've taken control of who I want in my stream and who I don't.
Be a man.
Such
Ban 'em.
Idiots, man.
Fuck them.
You're such fucking idiots.
True.
No, but we gotta take it a step further.
All right, let's go.
We gotta really piss Pyro off and then sit here and poke him in the chat and fucking type wham.
Phase 2.
Fucking type baby rage in the chat because that's all we're good for. That's what our life amounts to. Is sitting in Twitch chat and fucking sitting there and waiting for Pyro to get mad so that you can poke him with a stick.
Yep.
Get a fucking life, dude.
I gotta say, like, this is just like the biggest mistake you can ever make. I'm gonna tell you why. Is that so whenever a chicken starts to bleed, all the other chickens go around that chicken and they peck the bleeding spot until the chicken that's bleeding is dead. The solution to that, don't bleed. That's a pecking party. That's right. Don't bleed. If you have people that get you pissed off, that make you mad, the best thing that you can do, never show weakness. Never, ever, ever show weakness. Never get mad. Never show weakness, because people can make you mad because they have control over you, man. That's what it is. Absolutely. You say stuff like this, but you mauled constantly. Guys, I think you should brush your teeth every day. Actually, to be fair, I do that. Guys, I think you should go to bed at a reasonable hour so you can wake up in the morning and be able to go about your day without being completely tired. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Now, do I do this? No, absolutely not. I stayed up until 1 a.m. last night. Nope, I didn't do that. But I know it's a good idea. I know, like, theoretically, like, this is what you're supposed to do. But it's just not what I do. Why? Because I'm an idiot. Only 1 a.m.? Bro, I wake up at 8 in the morning. You understand that? Like, I wake up 8 in the morning. Like, I have to get up. I get my stream ready. I go and I go to the gas station. You know, I wake up early. And so, like, that's 7. It's not really 8 in the morning. I wake up by 8:30, right? But, like, yeah, it's early. Only 8? Yeah. You wake up at 4 a.m.? Bro, shut up. Like, you wake up at 4 a.m., you say, just tell me you wake up late. Like, that's more late than early. 8 a.m. is early. It is early.
Today's the worst stream I've ever had on Final Fantasy. The worst.
This is the worst stream you've had on Final Fantasy so far.
One ever, dude. And I know part of it is because of my attitude. I know that I am fucking. I get heated, bro. Yeah, I swear. Yep. I can be short and condescending. All right.
Yep. I do the same thing.
I know that.
Yep.
But so has everybody else the whole time. Pyro mad about the 10 assholes in chat out of 1,800 people.
Nope. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Pyro, don't hide it. That's what it is. Like, I do the same thing. There'll be like 6 people in chat. I'll be like, you guys agree? And everyone's like, yes. There's one guy who's like, no. I'm like, man, fuck you, bitch. Okay, so you guys don't agree. All right. Well, here, let me explain it another way. And I pull up Microsoft Paint and I make another graph, right? Like, it's just, that's just what happens, right? It's just what fucking happens. Yeah, it's just, there's, like, the thing is, I feel bad for Pyro because I feel like I do the same stuff, but, like, I guess, like, people don't pop off on me as much, but they don't get mad as much about me at it or whatever. Like, here's a, yes, Asmongold gamer moment. Exactly. Yeah, I do the same stuff. No, you don't. I think the difference with me is that, like, what I've learned to do is that eventually, whenever I figure, like, I've hit the, like, we've gone in circles 7 times now, right? We don't need to do 8. I finally decide, you know what? All right. I'm going to just tell people, like, listen, this is how I think, this is how I feel. That's it. It is what it is.
Dude, okay. Do you not understand that I'm mad at you when you make comments like that? You're winding yourself up over a UI.
Yep.
I can't handle you guys. You guys need to fucking literally go out and interact with real fucking people and have real fucking interactions and real conversations and real stuff.
I don't think it's fair for me to ask you to go through my entire library to find the context of which that we're about to discuss. So the TLDR is, for the longest time, especially since Pyromancer came into Final Fantasy XIV, as
there is some validity in what he's saying, right? Is that a lot of people get pressed and mad. Like, you see this in ban appeals, for example. Some guy just, like, randomly pops off because I said something like, cat girls are hotter than bunny girls. And he's like, I can't believe you would say that. You're a fucking freak. And you know, they get so mad at me for something like this, which, by the way, it's true. I mean, it's obviously true. But, you know, this is what people think. And they get furious about this. Streamers are not gods. Streamers are not these infallible beings. They are not these this ideal to ascribe to. Streamers are mostly middle-aged men, younger to middle-aged men, sitting in their house yelling in a microphone, playing a video game that they're probably bad at, that they played for the last 10 years. Why are you expecting a person like that to have, like, people get pressed about shit all the time. Like, People get mad about shit in real life all the time, like stupid shit, right? Do you remember, like, this is what I said before, right? That Gideon video where he goes to the bowling alley with a coconut. And there's like 3 pyromancers just there at the bowling alley. They're just there at the bowling alley. Like, this is normal.
I'm content creator. I have pondered, and with others have pondered, what will life look like once the content that he likes to consume has really run its course? And I'm not going into the raids, and I'm not going into that he can't find and create content and find joy in Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah.
Far from it. Essentially, what is kicking up a lot of the frustration and drama in the community is a video that I talked about over on Ginger Prime, focusing in on how the community itself kind of imploded today. But beyond rehashing that video, what I want to focus in on is the concept of Pyromancer as a content creator, not as an...
I think that the idea that every action that occurs inside of Final Fantasy is a direct reflection of the community of the game is very surface level, and I think is very bad. I don't like this. I find it unfair. There are millions of people that play Final Fantasy XIV, and if 75 of those people are hostile in a Twitch chat, that does not mean that the community is bad. Also, it does not mean that that's even the Final Fantasy community in the first place. There are people who watch Pyromancer that are not really in the Final Fantasy community. They just watch Pyromancer. Why do they watch him? There are some people that watch him because they don't like him. How do I know that? Because I've got some of those people myself. And you see them in the ban appeals. This happens all the time. This is WowG trolling him. Wow, I would have never expected 4chan trolling someone to make them mad. How could this have ever possibly happened? How did this get through the Norton cybersecurity? How did this get through Norton and McAfee? You're telling me 4chan, the hacker, got through Norton and McAfee at the same time and Windows Protector Shell? Oh my God. And he got all the way into the Twitch chat? Oh, he's breaking through all the barriers. He's unstoppable. Listen, guys, it's just every time that something bad happens in Final Fantasy, this is not an indictment of the Final Fantasy community. It's just not. It's such a stupid thing to say. It's the same thing with WoW. It's whenever it happens as a habit. Like, this is a habitual thing that happens regularly. So I could say something like, for example, Final Fantasy, like criticizing Final Fantasy in general, or not liking the story is generally, like, the community will spurg out on you for that. Like, they absolutely will. They will react emotionally, and in my opinion, partially irrationally because of that. They'll get really, really upset. Now, why am I saying that's the community and this isn't? Because this doesn't always happen. That does. That's the difference. You can't look at one point on a graph and say, here's where the line's going. You have to have multiple points. Like Quinn, yes, sure. Here we go. Toxic streamer equals toxic chat. No, I don't agree with that. I think there are plenty of streamers who are positive, who are still have toxic viewers. Of course, and also, like, this is a symbiotic relationship. You have a toxic chat all the time, it's going to make you toxic too. I think the only reason that streamers and that viewers say that is they're trying to hand wave their own hostile behavior by rationalizing it, saying that it's the streamer that caused them to do it. I think it's bullshit. I don't like it.
Attack on who he is as a human being,
but
as a critique overall to the points that he's making in this Rant video, and also kind of that I'm not surprised by it. And I don't know if that in and of itself is surprising, so I feel like I should owe you guys some context to what's been said publicly and what we've talked about behind the scenes. Now, ultimately, both of those are the same conversation. What does the content for Pyromancer look like once the content, the story, the hype behind Endwalker has all but gone away, and then tapping that into Pyromancer being, I would say, a man of passion based off of the first Epic Gamer moment where he really kind of exploded onto the scene, especially within the Final Fantasy XIV community, on the backs of everything going on with Blizzard, to now
that video,
where he's exploding at the...
That video on my channel has like over 1 million views. And I remember it was him, and he's like this. And it says like it was all for nothing. Holy shit. Yeah, 2 million? It's crazy, bro. Over 2 million. Oh my god. The difference between my stream and the others is very thin hairline. I think that I'm not really that much. I think really the reason why I don't know. I'll talk about more like at the end, but yeah, that's it. Well, I'll talk about more
based off of decisions that Square Enix has made. Now, these decisions Square Enix has made were made years ago. They were part of the terms of service that we've all agreed, and people have continued to push and push and push on that line.
Yeah.
And now, especially after coming off the Ultimate, a lot of the drama that's been surrounded with that, Square Enix has no choice really but to enforce their policy, and etc. And that's why Pyro deleted his stream, his VOD. And so this moment now lives on somebody else's channel, and that's again going to be linked in the description of this video for you guys to get the full context. Pyro's passion for the game, in his opinion, is his own. And I think essentially I don't really fault anybody who's willing to get up, put themselves on camera, become an entertainer, especially somebody who promotes Final Fantasy XIV, but beyond just the promotion of any one single game. I have had long-standing reservations that playing just one game is actually very, very unhealthy, and the content creation aspect is kind of now a predictable cycle of hype, grind, and then explode. And
that's actually true. This is a very good insight. I think that being a one-game Andy is only a recipe. It's a recipe for disaster. And this is one thing that I learned playing WoW. Think about how long it took me to play other games and have it be successful. Just generally successful. I had a lot of success very early on. Dark Souls 1 and 3. I mean, this was like, they were the most popular streams on Twitch at the time. Let's be honest. Yeah, it did. Look at Tyler 1. No, and you're right. Tyler 1 does what he wants to do, and I think he does fucking amazing, right? But don't go and look at one person and say, oh, this one person has this one thing, so what you say that's general advice about the other 1,000 people, it's not true, because there's that one person. Yeah, that's one person. It's the same thing with me in WoW, right? Like, I streamed WoW exclusively. I only streamed World of Warcraft, and my stream was massively successful. It was. And it was great. And it's not like you can't do it, but whenever you do that, you do have a huge problem. You have a massive issue, is that whenever you run into a content drought or something like this happens, you get put in a position where it's like, well, what do? Do you continue playing the game that you want to play that maybe you don't want to play as much because you've already played everything? Do you play another game and lose a bunch of your viewers and then maybe potentially send your channel into a death spiral? There's a lot of streamer fucking, existentialism that goes on there, right? And it's just unfortunate. It's the case, it's the game, it's not you. Yeah, exactly. So, this is what happens with a lot of people. Variety doesn't work if you're not an interesting person. That's why many people fail. And that's the fucking truth. And I will say this because I'm an asshole, is that a lot of people are not successful variety streamers because they're fucking boring. They're fucking boring and they have a shit personality. That's why. That's the facts. And you could go, oh, it's not. No. And you know what I learned? Is that there are games that make me boring. There are games that give me a shit personality. And you know what I did? I stopped playing those. Because I can acknowledge, wait a second, this isn't really my thing, right? It puts me in a weird spot. So, I think this happens. Which games? Any game where I have to read a menu. Yeah, so any game where I have to read a menu, that one's off the table. Yeah, we can't do that one. And, yeah. So, Lost Ark? No, I love Lost Ark. I think Lost Ark's fucking great. So, yes. Just in general, you know what I'm saying, right? And anyway, I just feel like it is, really stressful. And I think there's, an underlying stress for that with like any game streamer. And you see WoW streamers go through this, Final Fantasy streamers especially go through this, because here's what happens with Final Fantasy streams. And I've seen this happen with a lot of content creators in Final Fantasy in general, is that they go through the MSQ, and then after the MSQ is over, they don't really retain those viewers because those viewers were just there to watch the MSQ. And then after that's over, they're gone. And that's the way it goes. But what you have to understand is that those people were never really your viewers. It's like, for example, like I'll go and I'll get, I don't like 100 to 200,000 viewers, right? Whenever I watch like a brand new announcement for a game or something like this. It happens pretty regularly. It's great. But those people are not my viewers. Those are people that just want to watch me watch that content, and then after that content's over, they're gone. So you have to look at like building up an inner community and like growing that slowly. And you can't look at, hype viewership as the norm, basically. And so, yeah, that's it. And Still Watch Preach, though, well, there's other people that are exceptions, right? I'm not going to go through and say who is and who isn't an exception, but I think that we can all agree that whenever many streamers finish the MSQ in Final Fantasy, their viewership goes down drastically. Am I wrong? Yeah, am I fucking wrong? Like, I mean, there it is. So, like, yes, I'm not looking for exceptions or anything like that, but that's generally what I'm saying. So this happens. And I think this is going to be the case for sure, but people need to understand that that's not always their fault. Sometimes that's just the way it goes. Never wrong, Papa Daddy? Well, because if I am wrong, you're fucking banned. Let's watch Pyromancer.
It's essentially kind of what I see happening here in his content.
Yeah.
Now, he's frustrated. He is asking questions, but essentially something obviously happens. And he goes on to say, talking about this isn't his best stream. He knows that he's bringing a part of this negativity to the stream, and it ends up just obviously creating this epic gamer moment in which that these two worlds collide. And I'm sure that
somebody said in chat that I'm wrong about HEB Turkey. HEB is a grocery store, and basically, like, so they never stock turkeys. And what happens is, like, I will go to HEB and I'll want to get a turkey, and there'll be 17 chickens and 0 turkeys. Like, that's not true. Number one, it's not true. Blackjack, thanks for the 5 subs. I appreciate that. It's not true. Like, I'm not wrong about this, because there are people that look for turkeys and then they leave. You can afford to stock 2 turkeys a day. Okay? You can have 2 turkeys a day. It's fine. Like, you can do this and it's okay. It's not like we don't need 20 chickens. They're not that great. I did go to KFC last night with my dad, and it was pretty good, to be fair.
Were raised, and bans obviously from his content, from his community starting rolling out. The long-term effects is something that I'm more interested to understand as a content creator myself, but as a data analysis. One of the things I've really enjoyed, and what you actually would see in the top 100 content creators of Final Fantasy XIV video on this channel, or in my How Asmongold Impacted the Final Fantasy XIV community video.
Watched that.
Pyromancer and Preach were the top 2 beneficiaries from all of that wave.
Yeah.
From that last wave, it ended up really having a massive, massive impact on who they are as content creators, their viewership over on Twitch and on YouTube. And tip of the hat to them, and congrats to them. I don't see this as kind of a negative on Final Fantasy, and that's obviously my bias. People think that we should, only talk about, a game in a certain light and present it a certain way. I don't subscribe to that theory and that philosophy, because I believe all conversation is promotion, especially of that game, and I see that happening personally time and time again. I see people talk about how bad a game is, only to be messaged by other people saying, hey, we should go check out that game. I hear it's pretty bad. Yeah. Or, hey, it's been a while since we played that game. I remember how tough it was. Let's go relive that for a little bit. And so I do get these messages recently for Lord of the Rings Online, just as an example. Josh Drive Hayes made a video apparently, and now all of a sudden people want to play it, regardless of whether he says anything positive or negative about it. It's really about having that conversation and it being a part of what people are talking about. The add-ons things, I think, is the catalyst, but what I think Pyro showed us today is it actually is something deeper. Perhaps a frustration, perhaps he's just having a day, perhaps whatever insert thought that you might have regarding of it, but here we are, and here's his moment, and here's where the community has to make a decision And that is essentially what I think is what I'm waiting to see what happens next. My prediction has always been, and especially with anybody who's I've talked to that has been following Pyromancer for a long time, is that they would say this is pretty much his standard laissez-faire. This is his standard process. He has these moments. He has these times where he ends up...
This is not a Pyromancer epic gamer moment. This is not Pyromancer's epic mega meltdown. This is Tuesday. Yeah, this is Tuesday. That's all. And so yeah, that's all there is to it. And so yeah, it's the same as like people, like there are a lot of people, if they said and they did stuff that like I would do or he would do on stream, this would be a big deal. But nobody talks about it whenever I do it because it's like, yeah, he does this all the time. It's who cares, right? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Just fighting with chat and arguing over whether something that's important or something that's complete nonsense. But he loses his cool. He loses his, honestly, his, for lack of a better term, even despite the fact that I gave you the content warning at the start of this video, I'll try to remain
He
myself.
gets pissed off. He gets fucking mad. Yeah, I get it. This happens. Like, I think that the reason why is like you have streamers that are really bad at video games and people fucking hate them for it. You have like, I think DSP, Darkside Phil, and Wings of Redemption. These are two big examples of people that are not amazing at video games, but people fucking hate them for it. And then you have other people that are also not amazing at video games, and people don't hate them for it. Because it's not about getting mad. It's not about how you act, really. It's like a likability level. So, like, if somebody has a very low level of likability, people will perceive their mauling and their blow-ups as, instead of funny, they will perceive them and as shitty, and like it will make them mad, right? Renzi, thank you very much for the 5 good subs, right? And so being likable is the most important thing that you have to do whenever you're a streamer. Being likable and being entertaining. That's the only thing. You don't have to be good at games. You don't have to be, well, at least for a guy, right? It's a lot harder for a girl that's not attractive to be popular. It's just the truth. But for a guy, you don't have to be attractive. You don't have to be really consistent. You just have to be likable. That's it. That's the only thing. It's, yeah, Mizkif is not like an amazing video gamer, right? He's very good at Mario 64 and a few other platformers, absolutely. But he's not this, next level video game player, and everybody likes him. Why is it? It's because he's likable. That's what really matters. And everything else, like likability is like a charisma stat in real life. And if you have low likability, people will perceive all of your other actions with a much more negative connotation. You see what I'm saying? Check Arthur's tweet. I actually already have it up because I'm going to talk about that after this. Attacking others personally because they don't agree with your opinions isn't likable. There are actions that make people unlikable, but there are also just general demeanors that people have that are unlikable as well.
In this regards. And all that being said is that this feels kind of like who he is. Mm-hmm. And whether you like that content or not, that's not a judgment. Like, again, I have no ill feelings or ill will towards him or anybody who decides to sit here and put themselves out into the world. I think what they do is a real good service for the game at its core. And I think that's a real important conversation to be had. But I think it's also important to recognize our humanity in all of this, and essentially the struggles and the challenges that it can be faced as a content creator. We should strive to be better. We should strive to ask people to do their best, and and also we should probably, in this case, like, it feels like a lot of what's going on right now is everybody's just poking everybody, seeing who's about to break, who's having kind of a bad day.
This is what people do for entertainment. They treat people like animals and they poke them with sticks because it's funny to watch them cry. That's true. That's the way it goes. And you can say, oh no, but that's not how it should be. Yeah, you're right. Okay, all right, now let's get back to reality. Yep, that's how it is. So yes, that's what they do. Lol cows, exactly. They love to do it, and to the extent that people can do it and actually upset someone, they will do it more. That's what it is. What happens, the same thing to bully. They say it's not fair. And absolutely, it's a pecking party. There you go, man. And the people are so mean. They're just so mean. They're so mean. And the thing is that they do it because, this is the thing I noticed a lot, is that many of them will do it with a sense of that this person deserves it. This person is acting out in a way that I find socially unacceptable, so it is now my responsibility as internet user number 2744 to harass them. And this is what people do, right? And like, again, this happens constantly, man. He deserved it. Yes, they say he deserves it. And this is just what's going to happen. Like, and again, it's not, Legit made a video analyzing a single brief streamer interaction. He should make videos on you. He'd have hundreds of content for videos. To be fair, he did make a video on me. That's just how it is. But if people don't change, it's just the same. So we should start to be better individually. Just saying how it is a very lazy thing to say. No, it's not a very lazy thing to say. It's it's the opposite of a very lazy thing to say. So there are a lot of people. I'm going to explain exactly why you're wrong. Okay, and if you disagree with me, I'm going to ban you in chat because Pyromancer, we're watching Pyromancer videos, so we're just going to, play along with the nature of it. So this is basically why I think it's wrong. I think it's very popular nowadays to speak in platitudes and to coddle people and to never tell people that any sort of negative thing that they have in their life is an outcome of their own behavior. I think that it's very popular to speak in platitudes. It's very popular to talk about how things should be. It's very popular to say, oh, well, everybody should try to be better individually and make these meaningless platitudes that don't help anyone. Because obviously what you're saying is true, but it has no consequence and it has no value because it can't be acted upon. Of course you should become a better person. Is that really going to help anyone? No, it's not. But you're leading them into a world where the expectation is that everybody is doing that, where that's not the case. So just because you paint a fantasy world, just because you believe that this is what people should do, that doesn't mean that that's not what's going to happen. So like, for example, just because it's going to rain next week doesn't mean you're going to wear a raincoat today, because that's not what's happening. Just because you think this is what's going to happen in the future doesn't mean this is what's going to happen today. I think a lot of content creators do their viewers a big disservice by coddling them and not telling them anything that could potentially challenge the idea that they're perfect and everything bad in their life is a consequence of something exterior to themselves. The truth is that I think a lot of people are victims of their own bad decisions. In many regards. I know I am. I think a lot of you guys are too. How many of you guys are victims of your own bad decisions? You do something fucking stupid, and guess what? Guess what? You get fucked over for it. And yes, that's the way it goes. And if you don't tell people that, you're allowing them to live in a delusion that's unhealthy. You're allowing them to live in a world where they have no control over it. And what I'm saying is not that you can't work individually to be a better person. And I'm not saying you can't even work collectively to become better people. But what I am saying is that you have to do that in the context of knowing that that's not everyone's goal. And I think telling anybody else anything different is leading them into a position where they will make themselves unhappy. You see you guys see kind of where I'm coming from here? Yeah, it's like that. That's what. Yeah, you're enabling them, right? Yeah, and that's really what it is. It's one of the bigger problems in today's society. A lot of young people don't accept responsibility for their own choices. It has nothing to do with young people. There's plenty of old people that do the exact same thing. There's no age thing. There are 60-year-old morons and there are 16-year-old morons. I'm not going to do this the younger generation is bad thing. I find it silly. I think that every generation has clowns. So that's all I'm really trying to say.
Bad day. And that really comes down to kind of the final thought that I had.
Yes.
In the video posted over in Prime, but this is kind of an addendum to that, especially after Pyro's, rant in this case. And it comes down to you never really know what somebody's going through. And in the terms of content creators, like, I don't want to put them on a pedestal. They're gamers, just like all of us in that regards. But there's also something that it's like, if you're going to poke the bear, you shouldn't be, upset when the bear gets up and gets pissed at you.
That's one thing. I agree with that, bro. Like, I 100% agree with that. Because, like, how many times do you have it where, like, I was trying to make someone mad and they got mad. Wow, they're such an asshole. Shut up, bitch. Shut up, bitch. Quit trying to be obnoxious. Quit trying to be rude. Like, what do you? Yeah, of course. Oh, I was trying to be annoying, and people got annoyed. Oh, wow. Just shut up. Like, ugh.
Also, in Pyro's way, like this, there's no innocent party in this regard. Poking the bear, talking about like add-ons, and that he's actively streaming with them.
Him.
Despite the fact that bans have been rolling out like all day for people who are violating those things. And I think they should. I think the best thing that could probably happen to Pyro in this case is that being that he is using third-party tools, that he gets banned. Not because he's being bum rushed by a community that third-party things rolling out like all day for people who are violating those things. And I think they should. I think the best thing that could probably happen to Pyro in this case is that being that he is using third-party tools, that he gets banned. Not because he's being bum rushed by a community that wants to see him banned, but because I think the policies have to be applied to everybody evenly. Even though I think a ban would help him out both in his mental state, also giving him free promotion to take a break from the game, get a breather, and come back strong, because that's essentially what happens with content creators. But at the end of the day, like, I don't think there's a really other better option out there. At least
I disagree with that. I think Square Enix should do whatever they're going to do, right? I mean, I don't think that there's really a right decision in this case. And it puts them in a weird spot, right? Because, like, you obviously have, and we're going to get into this, right, is that there is clearly a concerted effort to report Pyromancer. And, like, is this witch hunting? Yes, it is, in a way. But they're also not wrong. Like, there's a difference whenever you're reporting somebody for something that's not real, or you're attacking somebody because of you not liking their personality. And it's like, for example, like one time I made a group and I called it Big Dick Throne of Thunder. And I put it in Group Finder and people reported me and I got suspended. Was I getting witch hunted? Well, no, because I broke the rules. I did. I broke the rules. I shouldn't have typed that. I did, and I got in trouble. It was deserved. Yes, I broke the rules. I got in trouble. That's the way it goes. But it does seem like it's a stupid rule. Yeah, but it's the rule. Like, I agree that it's stupid, but you still have to follow the rules unless you can get away with it, right? It's like, I don't care about the rules, but at the same time, I don't get mad whenever they're applied to me because that's what they said they were going to do. Like, that's all there is to it. You're getting brigaded, though. Yes, you do. But you can't get brigaded if you're not breaking the rules. I hard to agree. Square Enix is at fault since 99% of these third-party tools are making up Square Enix's deficiency for delivering a working UI. I agree with you functionally, but you understand how this puts them in a very bad spot, right? This puts, like, it puts Square Enix in a very, very bad spot where they can't really draw the line anywhere because that's just opening up a huge can of worms. And all of this other stuff, like there's no way that you can solve this problem, right? There's no way you can solve this problem and not have there be collateral damage. So what I'm saying here is that, like, whenever Pyromancer has this shit happen, I don't think him getting banned is good. I think that'd be terrible, right? Because then it empowers all the people that reported him, and then they're going to continue to harass him even more because it validates their efforts. But at the same time, Pyromancer does have things that are against the rules, and so, like, how do you approach that? How do you approach something where a person has something that's against the rules and people are doing it in a disingenuous way, but they're still technically right? How do you handle that? I don't know.
If there is, I haven't heard of it yet. Anyhow, I just wanted to share these thoughts. I wanted to get you guys, my thoughts on this subject. Thanks so much for your time and listening to them. Again, check out the original video if you're interested in the full context of his post. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in my next video. But until then, take care.
All right. I think that's fair. I feel like pretty much what he said. Like, I don't agree with the ban thing, but pretty much everything else, I do agree. We'll go through and we'll look at just a bit more, and then after that, I'll look at the tweet about this. What is this here?
Matt, you either leave the stream or you shut the fuck up and watch
Oh
it.
no! Oh no! Actually, sorry guys, I forgot to link this video for anybody who doesn't wants to know. This is a video made by I think Ginger Prime. Am I right about that? Yes, I am. And so you guys can give him a follow, give him a like if you feel like the video was good, informative, etc. I think it was pretty fair, right? It was pretty fair, and that's the way it goes.